married to scheme. We want to get guys to come in and fit the scheme. We want to play guys that fit the scheme. Or we want to have players who are just talented and we'll find a way to make them work. And it took a while to get there, but he basically said, hey, we want to get the talent, and we're going to get the talent on the field any way we can. And I think that is such a welcome departure from, I think Don Brown is a great defensive coordinator. He certainly, what he was able to do in Ann Arbor works for a very long time, but eventually it didn't. So we talked about that quite a bit on the show, about why, the predictability and play calling and all of that type of stuff. But I think the thing that makes this defense interesting is the unpredictability, not only in the way that they're going to be calling plays, but potentially the personnel packages they put out there. Because he talked about, we go to nickel or we go to dime, and all of these different things. We're going to, or we see certain looks, we're going to be trying to get guys out there that we know are going to be our best blitzers or our best run stoppers or our best guys in pass coverage, depending on the situation, about the personnel they see. Obviously, they say, they have their big guys, we want our big guys, that type of thing. Not saying Don Brown didn't do that, but this feels a lot more flexible, a lot more fluid. Like Don Brown, I feel, was recruiting to his scheme, but guys didn't always fit the scheme. It seemed like the recruiting to scheme more often than not was defensive end and Viper, because, at times last year, obviously, the whole, as Don Brown would say, guys being lost in the soup. When he started trying to change up the scheme, that's what we saw. It's a reason why I think this defense is going to be a lot better, because they're learning the concepts and mastering the concepts that they're going to need throughout the entire season right now. Chances are they're not going to have to change things.
George Helow was born on January 6, 1987, son of Joseph and Julie Helow, one of 10 siblings, including younger brother Matthew, who played football at UGA, brother Peter played football at Marshall, and brother John played football at Tulane. A native of Jacksonville, Florida, Coach Helow played at Bishop Kenny High School and later attended Hargrave Military Academy Prep School, a private, all-male military boarding school located in Chatham, Virginia. For college, he attended the University of Mississippi from 2006 to 2010. After redshirting in 2006, Helow saw his first career action against Louisiana Tech in 2007 and went on to play in all 38 games for Ole Miss during the 2008 through 2010 seasons, including back-to-back Cotton Bowl victories in 2009 and 2010. He led the Rebels in special teams tackles during the 2010 season and was nominated for the Burlsworth Trophy, an award given annually to the nation's most outstanding college football player who began their career as a walk-on. Coach Helow graduated from Ole Miss with a business degree in marketing and added a master's degree in adult education during his time at Georgia. In 2012, Helow broke into the college coaching ranks as a member of the Alabama staff under Coach Nick Saban. He was an intern in the weight room during the spring and summer before working as a defensive intern for coordinator Kirby Smart during the fall. The Crimson Tide allowed just 10.9 points per game during the year and went on to win the national title against Notre Dame in the BCS National Championship game. Helow has coached at some of the nation's top programs during his career, with stints at Alabama, Florida State, and Georgia. Helow helped the Seminoles win a national title in 2013 as a defensive graduate assistant coach. He also spent 2 seasons, 2014 through 2015, as a defensive graduate assistant at Georgia, where he worked with the safeties. Helow spent 4 seasons at Colorado State University, 2016 through 2019. At CSU, he coached the safeties during his final 2 seasons after working with the outside linebackers as a defensive quality control coach and graduate assistant during the 2016 through 2017 seasons. Helow oversaw a secondary that allowed just 181.6 yards per game in 2019, the 7th best pass defense in the country, and the top ranked in the Mountain West Conference. Safeties Jamal Hicks and Logan Stewart combined for 193 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 2.5 sacks, and 2 interceptions for the Rams. Hicks earned first team All-MWC and helped lead a pass defense that held 7 opponents under 200 passing yards. In Coach Helow's first season mentoring the safeties, 3 of his defensive backs ranked in the top 5 in tackles on the team in 2018. The Rams ranked 4th in pass defense in the MWC. George Helow joined the University of Maryland coaching staff in January 2020 as special teams coordinator and inside linebackers coach for head coach Michael Loxley. On January 19, 2021, he was named an assistant coach, linebackers coach for the University of Michigan football program, where he remained for the 2021 and 2022 seasons.
It's been fun. It's been fun going to work. We've had a great camp. Guys show up every day and they're putting in a lot of effort and energy, and they're very coachable, teachable, and we're looking forward to getting game planning this week.
What have you seen from Nakai? Jim had some good things to say about
Yeah,
him.
he's had a really good off season. You know, Nakai had a plan this off season, really got after it well in the weight room, changed his body, and had a great camp. He's our starting will linebacker right now. He's earned the right to start. Does everything you asked him to do, and he's very coachable. He's playing with his hands downhill. Has a good understanding of the defense and what we're trying to do. He's unbelievable in meetings, big eyes, big chest, takes great notes, wired the right way. Just very excited about how he's done and hopefully what he'll continue to do.
You got here, how much of last year's film did you look at and see the personnel you were inheriting, or you not?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I looked at it a lot actually because I was the special teams coordinator at Maryland, and so you observe personnel. It's kind of funny. We joke about it. Like Mike Barrett, I'd see him on the punt team, and we, base our scheme off the alignment of him and where he would move around to. So Josh Ross was on the punt team, so definitely watched him fly around. But we're watching more offensive teams, and then you see, just because of how it was, guys, in the Big Ten last year, you were just cut short with some stuff. But
Josh, I think Nakai said that Josh hadn't made a mistake all camp. Is that a little embellishment? And,
yeah, well, Nakai, so what we did in the spring was he was getting a lot of cross training in.
Okay.
And that's what we like to do. I did that with the safeties. When you come in, if you're playing 3 deep zone, I treat the 4 underneath players as X's, so he got some cross training at the Mike and the Will. I think when you do that, it just makes you understand it on a higher level, and moving him to both spots is help him understand it a little bit better, and he does. I mean, he's very conscientious, like I was saying earlier. Like, he takes notes, he writes it down. I mean, I was showing some of the other guys an example of how he goes right from special teams meeting, he flips the page over, and then takes all of his defensive notes, and then you go over and you do bed check, and he's reviewing his notes every night. And if he misses something, hey coach, can you please repeat that? So he's a very conscientious young man, and works real hard at it.
But he said Josh had really taken that next step in terms of leadership. Josh Ross.
Nakai said that about Josh? Oh yeah. I mean, Josh has been everything any coach could ask for in a leader, really all through the spring and all through fall camp. I mean, he's definitely separated himself, and his work ethic, his attention to detail, just his seriousness and maturity and how he attacks it every day is what, like, as a coach, you're like, man, this is awesome. So he definitely sets the standard in our room at a very high level. He's very consistent in his behavior and what he does, and I'm excited for him. excited to watch him this year and see what he does.
I've talked to, some of my old friends I've played with in the past, and it's like they're telling me like you having feelings I've never had it, like had the feeling of preparing for a ring game after O State. It was always, after Ohio, like we off for a few days, or the dog days, to be honest with you. But that page is gonna get turned. We got bigger and better things in front of us. And it's just exciting to be in the position that we in the blessed position we in, because of the work that our team put in. Like, it's a blessing, but that page is getting turned. That page is turned, and we ready to rock, man. Like, it's bigger and better things right in front of us, and everything's in front of us, and we know that, and it's just time to go get it.
In his first year on the staff, Helow helped the Wolverines rank top 20 in total defense and scoring defense, ranking 8th in the latter category. Josh Ross led the team in tackles, 106, and picked up third team All Big Ten honors, as well as the team's Roger Zatkoff Award. Under Helow, Ross set career highs in tackles and tackles for loss. And the young duo of freshman Junior Colson, 61 stops, and Nakai Hill-Green, 50, were impact players. Colson earned freshman All-American honors after finishing 4th on the team in tackles. Josh Ross declared for the 2022 NFL Draft and was signed with the Baltimore Ravens as an undrafted free agent on May 7, 2022. He made the Ravens' initial 53-man roster out of training camp.
All right, you gotta have a mentality now. Pop your feet. Let's go. Set, hit, boom. Come on. Near leg. Up and through. Shoot your arms violently. Right here, Jimmy. Set, hit. Come on. Press. Good. Close space. Now, Mike, press to the line of scrimmage here. All right, here you go. Set, hit. Press. Good. Up and through.
On December 14, 2023, the University of Alabama football program hired Coach Helow.
So, the first 3 days of practice here, we really tried to focus on fundamentals. I think everybody's got to practice with a plan, a sense of purpose. Everybody's got to kind of reinvest into conditioning, reinvest into fundamental techniques, discipline to execute, blocking, tackling, all will translate into positive performance in the game. And I think it's, hard to carry the momentum from the season to a game when you got almost a month, between games. So players really have to reinvest in, all those things. The players did a good job, in the 2 weeks in between and finals week. And we've had 3 good days of work. So we want to continue that for the next 4 practices. And, hopefully we'll get closer to where we need to be in terms of being able to go play like we're capable of playing, in this game. It's a great opportunity for our players. It's a great challenge for them, but, you're not really owed anything when you play in these games. It's like a 1-game season when you're playing in the playoffs. So we got to put everything into it we can, and everybody's working hard to try to do that.
I want to ask you about the self-scouting and tendency breaking stuff that you do as a staff normally during an idle week. Is that an exercise that gets repeated to some extent at this time of year ahead of a bowl or a playoff?
There's no question about it. We do quality control just about every week, on what our tendencies are and what we're doing and what we can do to try to, break those in some way, shape, or form. So, and certainly with this extra time here, that's something that we most certainly are trying to do.
Yeah. Hey, Coach, can you just speak to the decision to bring in George Helow and what kind of role he'll fill on your staff?
Well, George has been here before, so he was with us for a long time, knows our system. I think every year that, we've been in the playoffs, we've, tried to bring somebody in primarily because, we spent 2 weeks really on the road recruiting. So somebody to do a little extra work that has good experience. And, when we get off the road, being able to give us a good scouting report of what we need to know. And so that's, the purpose, just to add, sort of a special assistant to me, whatever you want to call it, to, when I come off the road, be able to get me up to speed on what's happening. So that's the reason we've always done that.
On August 15th, 2024, it was announced that George Helow had been added to Colorado's coaching staff as a senior defensive coach and is expected to work closely with Robert Livingston, Colorado's defensive coordinator.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Good, how are you? Nikki Edwards, Chief Sports Report. I'm just curious, how has it been adding George Helow to the staff, and what does he add to the defense?
He is unbelievable. You're talking about a pro. You're talking about a guy who's professional, a guy who's very knowledgeable, a guy who's, you don't have to tell him what to do or question him on what he accomplished this practice. You could see it. You could hear it in the energy that he displays when he's one-on-one with the kids or he's coaching a group. He commands their attention. He's track record, and it's unbelievable. He's been everywhere, and he's also done a wonderful job. I'm happy we have him. I really am happy we have him.